All right, Tim Sykes here, doing a video lesson during a live challenge webinar. So many lessons to go over, but first I got to give props to Chace. Just crossed $1 million yesterday. Freaking awesome. He took a whole screenshot and he did a whole video. Everyone below this video, comment, congratulations, Chace.
Hey everyone, we made it. Can't even believe it myself. It's been a long journey. I'm 6 years into this thing. My thought this morning was how quickly things can change. But stay with it, study, keep at it, never give up. Had to throw a screenshot on here. That's going to be backwards, but that's going to have to cut the mustard. Let's go!
Yesterday he actually made, when he told me, he made $250,000. So in the morning he crossed over $1 million, which was pretty awesome. By the afternoon he was at 1.15 million. 250,000 on the day because crypto is insane. The crypto breakout, the Bitcoin breakout, the crypto plays like MSTR and Coinbase, Chace was perfectly positioned. I'm actually doing a separate video interview with him later today in about 3 hours. So we'll hear more about what he has to say, but he's been with me since 2018. He studied his butt off. He even actually told me during May, I just looked back at the messages when in May he was at around 700,000 and he's like, I think I'm going to cross $1 million this year. And I was like, relax, take it one trade at a time. Don't get cocky. But sure enough, here he is. I mean, he was just, positioned perfectly. And I just love it. He's a good family guy. You'll be interested to hear his backstory. I won't spoil it, but he has a very interesting backstory, as all my millionaire students do. But Chace is pretty unique, and I'm just so proud of him. So please, again, congratulate Chace in the comments below. Get inspired by him. The $1 million is nice, but again, it's just a start. If you look at my trades, I'm closing in on 8 million, but I'm trading small. I'm donating the trading profits. I'm traveling. I'm teaching. Every single trading day is an opportunity to learn, not just from your wins, but your losses too. And every single one of you watching this is trying to grow your knowledge account, get more experience. So even if you miss a play, like on BTCT, which I missed today, which I'll go over, you learn and you're trying to do better for the next one. Okay? Losses are not the end of the world. Lack of education is a problem. Lack of growth, lack of improvement, lack of recognizing your mistakes, lack of adapting from your mistakes. These are the biggest problems. And if you're learning, even if you're losing small amounts in the beginning, it's fine. Got to give props to not just Chace, but also people like, Ron. I wasn't going to start with Ron, but I will. He missed the big move on BTCT due to work, but he was able to catch the dip buy in the 10s, out in the 12s. Even if you miss a play, and we'll go over BTCT in a second, it's okay. There's more opportunities to trade it usually later in the day or even the next day. That's the beautiful thing about this market. There's just opportunity to learn after learn after learn. But I wanted to give props to Jack Kellogg. He'll be doing a challenge webinar later this week where he'll go over how he made $54,000 today on BTCT and DXYZ, but he's been averaging 40,000 a day lately. I mean, he's really in a good place with his head. He's, I think, close to $500,000 now in just the past few weeks, closing in, I think, on 1.5 million year to date, over 13 million. Everything is going in his direction. But never forget, no matter how rosy it sounds, how amazing it sounds now, when he first started, he lost 20 grand roughly after 20 months of effort. It wasn't just a week or two. It wasn't just a month or two. It was nearly 2 years of losses. But $20,000 in the grand scheme of things for your education while he's learning paved the way for his growth now. It was the foundation. The losses that you sustain in the beginning, it does not matter in the long run. You need those losses. You need that education. Picture small losses, ideally if you can keep them small, as market tuition. You have to pay the market tuition. No one learns a lot by profiting all the time. You actually learn more from your losses. So it's all gravy now that he's making 50,000 in a day, but he had to go through a lot in the beginning. Bryce Tuohy, another one of my millionaire students, got to give props to him. He just nailed BTCT. I'll have him do a webinar explaining this. But guess what? Him and his roommate, Matt Monaco, they're both millionaires. Their third roommate, Mike, did not join the challenge. He is not a millionaire. Okay? I'm not saying that everyone's going to be a millionaire, but if you don't put in the time studying, you really hurt yourself. You hurt your education. So every single day you should be focused on learning, and you will be surprised. In fact, I think you'll really be shocked at what you can learn year 2, year 3, year 4 if you stay dedicated. Okay? Bryce himself, not the smartest guy. He'll be the first to admit it. But he has learned what works best for him in the markets, and he nailed BTCT too. But, Chace, Bryce, Matt Monaco, Ron, so many more students. It's pretty crazy. It's really just awesome to see. And this is what I want. But, go through my tweets. If you follow me on social media, I was all hyped up on BTCT this morning. Oh, also Cruise Control, props to him. He just crossed 30,000 and he locked in $600 on Foxo. I saw Ellis nail Foxo also. But this morning, I was trading BTCT pre-market and I was actually pretty disappointed. This was really early on. This is a crypto play that I said was breaking out to new highs. Gold is selling the fives, moving fast. I got in at 476, in at 461, and it just wasn't going the right direction, so I cut losses at 441, down 1,000 pre-market. Really annoying. Then it got back, and it looked like it just squeezed over 5, and it moved so fast. Like this was, right now, obviously it's the biggest winner if you follow the market. It's up 400%. But early on this morning, it could not break 5 at all, okay? So this is all well and good when the market opens, but pre-market, it did hit 5 here and then bounced back down and got all the way down to 415. So some people say, Tim, you're buying at pre-market, you saw it, why didn't you hold? I'm not going to hold through a 20% drop, okay? It wasn't doing what I wanted, so I got out. Into the market open, I wasn't sure. I saw this at 457. I was in trying to, get it over 5, trying to see if it could break 5. Could not break 5. So I said, I'm locking in this single just before the open. I don't know what it'll do. So when in doubt, get out. I said, nice little single, potential rebuy on any convincing breakout over 5. This turned out to be like the most dead-on statement that I've given in weeks, if not months. 5 was the catalyst. And when it broke 5 right here, in 1 minute, it actually got halted at 509. The next minute, it's in the 6s and the 7s, and then the 8s, and it went all the way up to the 8s here. But you also could have gotten in the 7s and the 8s, and then the short squeeze really took over in just a few minutes. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes, it goes from the 8s to the 16s. Double your money in 7 minutes. This is a short squeeze, ladies and gentlemen, okay? It's been choppy. It's, you could have made some money on the dip buy, but now it's failing a little bit. This stock does not deserve to be in the double digits. This is a short squeeze. If you've been watching my last 500 or so video lessons, we're trading short squeezes every single day. We got to be grateful for the short sellers. If you look at my trades, or if you look at my tweets, forget about just my trades. I was out. I could not buy back in at 5 because it spiked up so quickly. It got halted and you had to be so quick and I wasn't quick enough. I had the right idea to say, hey, when it breaks 5, like that's when I should be back in it, but I missed it. This was the breakout right here. It spiked from 450 all the way to 535. My bad, not 509. It was like a few seconds. What you could have done is, okay, watch it for $5 a share, maybe have an automated order at like 510, but I don't really like automated orders because sometimes you get a breakout to 510 and then it's a fake out and then you're in right at the top. In hindsight, I probably should have been watching it when it broke back above the VWAP. But this is how fast these plays can go, okay? You ask why Chace made $250,000 yesterday? Because he was long the crypto names, and crypto squeezed hugely, okay? Tesla has squeezed hugely. Coinbase has squeezed hugely. A lot of this is just short sellers. And this was the beginning of the BTCT run-up right here. All pre-market long, it's using 5 as resistance, 5 as resistance. It comes all the way down to 4. Shorts think they have it in the bag. But this is why I wouldn't be a short seller right now. This is why I thank short sellers for sacrificing their health, their wealth in so much, because they're actually opening themselves up to squeezes like this. And this is just the beginning. But in 1 minute of trading action, it goes from 450 to 550. Imagine being short 10,000 shares or 20,000 shares or 50,000 shares like a lot of these big shorts are. And this is just the beginning. I tweeted this at 10:01 a.m. I like to live tweet to show you this. This is at 10:10. This is 10 minutes later after the halt. Okay? It goes straight from 535 to 709. Props to a lot of my students. I sold too early in the 4s, but some of my students are better. This is the perks of having students. Teachers are those who can't do. I don't mind missing plays like this because I was dead on in my thesis. That's what I care about, okay? I don't need to be perfect with my own trading. I'm here to show you, again, from my successes and from my mistakes. That was at 10:10 a.m. Eastern this morning. This is at 10:23. Every 10 minutes I'm tweeting. This is when the stock gets halted again at 780. I highlighted some students. Stockho made nearly $3 a share. Kalos said if they could sell BTCT at 709, they'll make $908. Their first big win, they actually sold at 780. So over $1,000. Congrats to Stockho and Kalos and EM Schwarm. Also, nice $1,000 day. $1,000 a day keeps a real job away, as I always say. This is still very early. Here, later on, this is 20 minutes later, the stock is up to the 9s. Okay? It consolidated pretty well, which I didn't think it would. I underestimated it. I still have work to do myself, trying to understand just how moronic these short sellers are and how great the squeezes are they create. But into the 9s. And I, got a little cheeky here. I said literally a blind person could see the squeeze written in Braille. A blind person couldn't see it. The squeezes aren't written in Braille. But if you do study this stuff enough, you should be able to see it. You should be able to understand when a play has this spikeability. And I'm not discouraged by the fact that I didn't, really understand how much upside it is or it had, because I was there early. I don't mind being too early. I'd rather be too early than too late. I will personally learn from this too. I'll do better next time around. Even though I've been doing this for 2 decades, I can still improve and try to get better at short squeezes. I'm not the best at trading these short squeezes, but I'm damn glad that I'm teaching you guys, and I'm damn glad to be on the right side of things. I can only imagine how confused and how frustrated short selling chat rooms are, where they're like, but dilution tracker says this, and the fundamentals say this. Shut up, you narrow-minded, toxic, leper short sellers. This is when it was in the 12s, because the squeeze keeps going. This is at 10:50 a.m. This is all within an hour, guys, okay? So if you want an idea of how fast these stocks move, obviously it's better to see it in real time. Many of my students saw this in real time. Many of my students traded it in real time. But if you didn't see it in real time, at least I'm live tweeting it and showing how severe the short squeeze is. Again, remember somebody who just shorts 10,000 shares here at 5 because they think the fundamentals don't support $5 a share. They think it's worth $3 a share. They think they're going to make an easy 10 or 20,000. If you're short 10,000 shares at 5, you're now down 70,000. But the pain isn't over yet. Here, it goes to 1575. This is still at 10:56 a.m. This is in under an hour. So if you have a small account, this is the kind of trade that you want to take. And I have so many students who made, $3 a share, $5 a share, $2 a share. Anna Alexander, this is live during a challenge webinar. Anna Alexander made $2,500 on BTCT after all. Congrats to Anna. She made $5,000 overall on the day. There were a bunch of other students. I got to give them props. GOVX also was a nice squeeze. Herrera nailed GOVX. This was Anna, happy to make 5K in a day. These are upcoming students, guys, okay? These are not necessarily my millionaire students, but they're learning to take advantage of these run-ups. Congrats to Chace, congrats to Jack, congrats to Bryce, but they're millionaires. That's awesome. I want more millionaires. But this is how it begins. Props to Rum Team. 1,000 shares of BTCT in at 10, out at 13.10, making $2,500 in a few minutes. And I can keep going. There's so many more. Slow-Mo 1 said, in on BTCT at 433, out at 1133. Just 25 shares, but that's fantastic. The whole trading world and Wall Street will rip on somebody for trading with 25 or 50 or 100 shares. I, on the other hand, in my community, will congratulate Slow-Mo One on this because it's the same kind of trade. Maybe it's 25 shares now, but the more times you see plays like this, next time maybe you take 50 shares. Maybe you take 500 shares. Eventually you take 1,000 shares. If you become one of my millionaire students, you take 10,000 shares. 10,000 shares in at 4, out at 11, that's $70,000 in under an hour. So while some people say there's not that much money in penny stocks, I disagree. It's plays like this that help awaken everybody and help teach you. And there's so many more students. I mean, look at this. Dark Angel in at 8, out at 1301. There were other ones. Hold on. I just got to give you a few more to help you understand that there's so many. Testman 48, today was my best day, in at 4, out at 7, 200 shares, and I'm ecstatic. That's fantastic. Don't worry if you sell too soon. You're trying to take the meat of the move on these crazy squeezes, okay? Also, Mark Maltzer said, in at 435, out at 730, should be happy. And I gave him crap for that because he's not shouldn't be happy. He needs to be happy. It doesn't matter how many shares you have during this kind of run-up. It doesn't matter if you sell too soon. I'm basically break even on the day. I completely missed it, but I called it pretty well. And that's my job as a teacher, to be real with you. This little comment right here should have put this on every single one of your watch lists. It was a pre-market runner, and there was a very clear top at 5. If you've been watching my recent video lessons and looking at my recent trades, I'm looking for short squeeze stocks that test the pre-market highs. The pre-market high was very clearly at 5. Would I have liked more time when it was at 5 so I could have, gathered my thoughts and actually bought it at 5? Yes, but the market doesn't care what we want. So all you can try to do is put yourself in a position to watch these plays in real time, ideally execute these plays in real time. If not, learn from this. Every single one of my challenge students who saw this live, say live in the chat room right now. I'm giving a live webinar. Let's see how many people are paying attention. Type in LIVE in the challenge chat right now if you saw BTC live today. And every single one of you who types in the word live, I'm very proud of you. Even if you missed it, even if you sold too soon. Here's Gat Sterner and on GNS in at 107, out at 140. There's other plays too, spiking, okay? MULN, I missed this starting the webinar. That was spiking. GNS, I was saying how this one is a former supernova, and it's going supernova. This one's spiking, okay? When you get one giant short squeeze, it begets more. But look at this. These are all my challenge students watching this video lesson live, and they also all witness BTCT live. That is priceless. Why? Because even though BTCT might be done right now and it's looking a little overextended, there will be others like this. And if you saw BTCT, you now have a guide going forward on how to trade these kinds of supernovas. And I really would caution any wannabe short seller, even though this is faded off the highs and will probably continue to fade, any one of these can go supernova. It doesn't necessarily have to stop at 16 or 17. It can go to 20 or 25 or 30, or we've even seen some of these plays go to 50 or even 100 in a day or two. It's terrible, terrible, terrible risk reward if you're going to short these, because all it takes is one to blow you up. You don't just lose half your money or all your money. You can lose more than all your money. Short selling, the losses are infinite. And I do know some short sellers who blew up on this one and on other plays. Not that they would ever admit it, because they want to look good in their little toxic groupthink Discord chat rooms. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for how shady and non-transparent short sellers are. Because again, I would prefer to trade promos, and I prefer promoters and OTCs to be back. But when there's no promoters and no OTCs, I'll take whatever I can get. And short squeezes like this are spiking far faster than any promoter would, because the promoters would be scared to spike the stocks this high because they would be investigated and shut down. But then again, Atlas Trading, they were promoters and they got off scot-free. So if there's any promoters out there, by all means, please promote. We would love to trade your stocks. But in the meantime, we'll trade these short squeezes and we'll learn from them. We'll try to profit from them, even if I might miss one or two, or miss even more than one or two. I'm going to learn from every single one, and I'm going to try to be there, and hopefully you guys can learn too. Okay? That's the goal. Trying to be better prepared for every new opportunity. Life is long. Life is getting longer. The bull market is amazing. There's more and more opportunities every day. You can't worry about if there's going to be plays. You can't worry about what the patterns will be. All you can do is control your preparation, and you can try to be more prepared. I have countless DVDs, video lessons, webinars, so much content from the past few years. Not just me, but my millionaire students too. I encourage you to study it all. The more you study the past, the better prepared for the future you will be. So again, congrats to so many of you. Congrats to Chace, my newest millionaire student. I'll post a video interview that I'm going to do with him in a few hours. I'm excited to talk with him, but let's see who's next. Any single one of you can become my next millionaire student. It matters how much you want to study, how dedicated you'll be, and then will you use what you study to actually execute these trades in real time. Play after play after play are popping up, whether it's BTCT, whether it's MULN, whether it's GNS. There's so many runners. All you need to do is try to take a piece of the move. Don't worry if you miss it. Don't worry if you sell too soon. You're just trying to learn and eventually trying to earn. Remember, you have two accounts, your knowledge account and your brokerage account. Every time you watch one of these plays, even if you miss it, even if you lose on it, even if you sell too early, your knowledge account grows. And when your knowledge account grows enough, when you have experience after experience after experience, not just your second short squeeze or 10th short squeeze or even 50th short squeeze, over time, you'll see hundreds, if not thousands of these plays. And you'll have a pretty good record of how to trade them based on what you've seen, based on what the other millionaire students are doing. I encourage you to learn from the other millionaire students. Like I said, Jack Kellogg, where was this? He's going to be giving a challenge webinar later this week. And he's going to be talking about how he made $54,000 today. I encourage you to tune in, all you challenge students. Try to tune in live. Ask him questions, okay? Jack doesn't have to share this stuff. He can just bank and be selfish like many of the best traders I know. But he came up in the challenge. He was a valet. He watched all my videos while parking other people's cars. He has changed his life, his family's life. Over 13 million now, living his dream life. I just visited him in New Hampshire. He has a great house, boat, quad trail, everything. But you have the opportunity to pick his brain. You have the opportunity to pick my brain in the challenge webinars. If you're in the challenge, I encourage you to study in the interim when Jack and I and Ellis and Tim Grattani are not giving weekly webinars, and you study the old DVDs and video lessons and webinars, and you write down questions. And then when we're giving webinars, you bring up those questions. That's how you learn. You need to grow your knowledge account before you can grow your brokerage account. As I said earlier in this challenge webinar, it's not about how much money you can make right away. I would rather you make less money. I would rather you even lose a little bit of money, but learn valuable lessons for which you can build a foundation off of. And that foundation will pave the way for millions of dollars over time. There's a very specific process, okay? I don't just have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 millionaires. I've got 40 plus millionaires. And if people were being honest, I probably have closer to 100. But some people don't want to admit it, and that's fine. But I'm just glad to teach you lessons that I've learned over the years. And that's why, we can spot plays like BTCT. Even if I personally didn't execute it well, I'm so proud that so many other students did nail it. From the 4s to the 5s or the 6s or the 7s or the 8s or the 9s to the 10s. You're just trying to take the meat of the move. And because of an over-aggressive population of undertrained, toxic, discord, leper, narrow-minded short sellers, it creates this great powder keg of upside potential in the worst companies in the world. This company will likely go bankrupt in the long run. They will likely do a financing. Dilution Tracker isn't wrong. But in the interim, the worst fundamentally flawed companies can become the biggest spikers in the entire market. Far more than quality companies. So I encourage you to be grateful to the short sellers and focus on these plays that have this huge upside potential, because these are the kinds of plays that can grow your knowledge account and eventually your brokerage account too. That's today's lesson. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you saw BTCT live, if you learned from it, if you missed it, if you took a piece of the move, and most importantly, if you're now better prepared for future plays like this.